Welcome to Making a MOOC, episode 10. And so we've been setting up the MOOC, setting up the website for the Ethics, Analytics, and Duty of Care course. And big part of this course, big part of this setting up of the MOOC is that I want this to be as open a course as possible. And so I've been thinking about what that means. We see a lot of open courses online. They're not really open. You have to sign up for them, register, give an email address, give maybe your details. Every time you go to access materials, there's passwords. And then when the course ends, you've lost all your contributions. The course closes, and all the materials are gone. And see, I'm thinking of something much more open than that. So a big part of this is access, but as they say, access is not enough. I want to be doing more. Anyhow, this episode I'm going to talk about Zoom. And you might, right off the bat, you might say, well, why Zoom? Right? Why focus on Zoom? Couldn't you be using Jitsi or something like that? Yeah, I could be using Jitsi. That would involve setting up a server somewhere and then running it. And I'm not ready to do that yet. I know OER University has their setup, and eventually, and I know Jim Groom has done a Jitsi in the cloud setup. It would cost a bit of money, probably not a lot, but it's one more thing I don't want to worry about. So for this course, I'll be using Zoom for my conferencing. Pretend I'm using Jitsi if the open source thing really bothers you. Again, my focus isn't on me being pure. My focus is on creating openness for the participants. And so I'm going to be a bit pragmatic about how I do that. You notice I'm using YouTube, which is a Google property. Again, I could be hosting all of these on my own server somewhere, but there's all kinds of difficulties that arise there. So that's the reason for my thinking here. So Zoom. So let's go to the website Zoom. So here's the story with Zoom. The National Research Council, where I work, has Zoom accounts, and I even have a Zoom account with the NRC. And I thought about using that. I put in a request to computer support, to see if I needed to update it or anything like that. Did that early last week, never heard back from them. Still haven't heard back. But I did access it because I just went into Zoom, figured out I have an algorithm that I can remember for my password. I use different passwords for every single service or application, but I used that algorithm. So I was able to recover my NRC account in Zoom. The problem is NRC account is managed centrally, and so I didn't have access to some features that I wanted, and specifically streaming to YouTube is turned off, and I have no access to the admin section to do that. So I went and bought my own account. And here it is. And I bought a personal account. I bought the highest account that I could for one person. So these are the different versions. So as it turns out, I got this one, the $20 per month license, which I can afford, so that's fine. I could have gone with free, but I wanted the pro experience first of all, just for my own sake. I couldn't go up to business because it's $27 per month per license, which is fine, but for a minimum of 10 licenses. So really the lowest cost of having a business account is $270 a month. That's way outside my price range. So this plan is what I did. So, okay. So, see, purchase up to 9 licenses, starting at 10 licenses. And then if you want to really go to enterprise, you're starting at 50 licenses, $13.29.50 a month for those 50 licenses. So, it's pretty much locked in here to the pro version. So, let's look at Zoom. Now, Zoom you can download as an application. Here it is. And so for me, it's very simple to set up. So I downloaded the application, I signed into it, and really that's all I had to do. So the main thing now is in setting the parameters. Now I don't know if I have access to that here. I know I have it on the settings. Okay, here we go. So settings. There's a whole bunch of different settings. Zoom started off as an enterprise application, and there's a ton of different settings that you can use. So I did it on the website, I think. I did this yesterday. So so here we go. Yeah, so this is it on the website. I found it a little bit easier to manage on the website than I did on the application. It's just marginally easier. So we'll go into settings here. So here, these are the basic categories: security, schedule, in meeting, email, and other. And so this is what I didn't have access to on the NRC side. So what I did here is I went through each of these settings and made sure that I had the settings that I wanted. So I wanted them to be as open as possible. Now, you can't change this setting, this security setting. So I'm going to be as open as possible within the security setting. That'll do for now. I think, I don't want to be Zoom bombed or whatever, so fair enough. So, waiting room. So, when you log into one of my Zoom meetings, you'll go straight into the waiting room. It's okay. I have a maximum of 100 participants with this plan, the Pro plan that I have. So, the worst case scenario is I'm admitting 100 people. All right, that's fine. So, everyone will go to the waiting room. There is a passcode. So, basically, the way I'll set up the access, I'll set up the access in the activity center, and so all that information will be placed there. So here are the passcodes. So I have these, see, embed passcode in invite link for one-click join, and that's how I'll do it. So the link that I create will have the passcode in it. I'll put that in the activity center, so you just click on the link in the activity center, boom, you're into the Zoom meeting. That's how I want it to work. As open as possible. And you notice here, right, you don't need to log in, get a Zoom account, anything like that. That's why I turned this off. It says only authenticated users can join meetings. No, turning it off. I want you to be able to get in without having to authenticate. So, and this is the authentication options. I'm not using them, so I don't need that. Phone-only users. So there is a phone-only user option in Zoom, which is great because not everybody's going to have internet. So I want people to be able to go in phone-only. If the waiting room is not enabled, it will be. But if it's not enabled, the dial-in users will be blocked. Maybe I'll change that. So I'll save that so that they can just join. All right. Block users from specific domains. Don't need that yet. Don't want to authenticate users from the web. Don't want to block people from specific countries or regions. Hey, I love every country. Every country. So I don't care. Okay, start meetings with host video on. I turn that off just in case, so I can do my hair. Participants video, same thing for them. We'll start it with their video off, and they can turn it on for themselves. Audio type, so I'm going to support both telephone and computer audio. Again, maximize participants. Allow participants to join before the host. No, you're waiting for me. Is that okay? Well, they'll just be sitting in the waiting room, won't they? Yeah. We'll put them in the waiting room. Yeah, okay. That's good enough. Allow Zoom rooms to start meeting with host key. The administrator has locked this setting. So, locked by admin. Just so you know, I'm the admin. And so I must have locked it somewhere up above, but I don't know. This feature is only for Zoom Rooms client with version 5.7.0 or later. I probably don't have this version. Okay. Or maybe if I'm using this client, I can change this. Like this is just a Zoom client. So enable personal meeting ID. Yep. Use the personal meeting ID when scheduling a meeting. I don't see the need for that. So similarly, I don't see the need for that. I might change that later, but I don't see the need for that. I can just use a generic ID. Mute all participants when they join a meeting. Yeah. Same with, it's just like with video, right? You can turn it on if you want later, but you can get like raucous noise in a meeting if you don't mute everybody when they join, and then people don't know how to turn their audio off or whatever. So upcoming meeting reminder, that's for scheduling. Okay, so now in meeting, require encryption. No, I don't care. I don't need that. This is an open course, right? Chat, allow meeting webinar participants to send chat members messages. I've turned that on and I've made that as open as possible. So in lower grades, you don't want people to necessarily be chatting directly to each other, especially if you can't monitor that chat. But I'm dealing with adults here, and hopefully that will work out all right. I'm pretty sure it will. I wish, now you saw before, remember, in the activity center that I set up in the previous video. I think this is it this page? No. Maybe I just don't have it open. So here's the activity center. I'll just show it to you again so you can see it. Right. So in the activity center, down here is where the link to the meeting will be for those days when we're having Zoom meetings. And then you'll actually see the meeting up here. We'll talk about that in a bit. But the thing I want to mention here is there's the chat for the activity center. Now, I wish I could, oops, don't want that one, I want this one. I wish I could have the chat from the Zoom meeting show up in the activity center and vice versa. That would be ideal for me. I don't know how to do that. But, well, let's do a quick look. Zoom chat API. Because that's how I would do it, right? Chat messages API reference. Okay. Chat messages, send a chat message. Send chat messages on Zoom. Oh. And List users chat messages, update a message. So, okay. So there is an API. Not sure. I see billing here. Get billing information. Oh, okay. That's just for, okay. So, and chat bot messages. I could send chat bot messages into the chat area. That's pretty cool. So it would take a bit of work to do. So if I find myself with some time, I'll try to do that. See if I find myself with some time. But at least I know it can be done. So, and if anyone knows of a chat bot, or sorry, if anyone knows of a chat API application in Perl that I can just plug into Grasshopper, let me know. So, okay, so that's pretty cool. But right now I can't do that. So the Activity Center chat and the Zoom chat are two separate things, but I'd like them to be one integrated thing. That would be ideal. Okay. Private chat, I'm allowing private chat because why not? Well, like I say, if I was dealing with younger kids, yeah, maybe not. Auto saving chat, I want to. This is so that I don't have to remember to change to save the meeting chat. I'll have to be clear, right? This is open, which means that the chat transcripts are going to be available to people later. So, don't assume, and I'll have to remind people during the meeting that, everything in this meeting is being saved for later. Send notification or sound notification? No. It's just so annoying. Send files via meeting chat. I'm allowing that because it might come up. If it's a problem, I'll turn it off, but I doubt that it'll be a problem. Feedback to Zoom. This will allow participants to send feedback to Zoom at the end of the meeting. I see no reason to turn that off. It's a slight interruption in your day, but generally I send user feedback back to the companies that produce this. I know I'm giving them free data, but I'm helping them build a better product. And so I encourage this sort of thing. Display end of meeting experience feedback survey. By the other token, well, maybe I should. Yeah, all right. We'll display that. We'll do the end of meeting experience feedback survey. So if you have feedback on the Zoom meetings, you'll have an opportunity to do a thumbs up, thumbs down. If you do a thumbs down, you can give me additional information. That'll come to me. Co-hosts, I have no current plans for co-hosts or even guests, but I might change my mind, so I might as well set that for now. Similarly, I have no plans for polls or quizzes, but I might change my mind. Similarly, I might try to do a survey. There's no reason not to have that engaged, so I'll leave that as an option. Always show meeting control toolbar. Now, that makes the meeting environment a little bit more complex, but I've seen many cases where the administrators haven't made this toolbar available and people can't figure out how to do things. So I'm making it available. Show Zoom windows during screen share. Not sure about that. I'm not sure about that, so I'm going to leave it off. Just because I'm not sure. I want, when I'm doing a screen share, you see how I'm doing this video here, right? Okay, sorry about the zoom effect there, but right now I'm keeping the picture-in-picture as small as possible, and this image on the video as large as possible, and that's so that you get the full effect. Whoops, what am I doing here? Here we go. I moved the wrong window. That happens to me a lot because the windows don't really have good borders around them. Okay, anyhow. So similarly, when I'm doing a screen share during a presentation, and I do intend to do that because I have stuff I want to show people, then I want it as big as possible, so I won't show the Zoom windows. Screen sharing right now, just me. I'll leave it like that for now. Nah. Who can start sharing when someone else is sharing? Now let's, I'm so divided here. Let's enable it. And so people can share, but they can't interrupt me if I'm sharing. I know it's a bit of a power grab, but what can I say? It's my course. Disable screen sharing for the meetings you host. No. Okay, so this is because I use desktop screen sharing all the time. The reason why I use desktop screen sharing all the time is so I can do stuff like this. So that's why. Now, the risk of doing this is that I might open my email by accident and share something. But, you know, I can live with that risk. Disable screen sharing when guests are in the meeting. No, I'm not. That would just confuse me if it ever happened, so I'm just going to leave that. I'm not disabling screen sharing for things. Annotation, that's if you're having a private, you know, if and this is the sort of thing that NRC would turn on, right? Because you don't want NRC people to be sharing their secured desktops in meetings where there are guests that are outside NRC, so they would turn that off, or turn that on. But I want it turned off because I don't care. I'm not dealing with super secret stuff here. It's an open course. Annotation. So allow hosts and participants to use annotation tools to add information to shared screens. Definitely. Allow saving of these. Definitely. And I'm going to turn off only the user who is sharing can annotate. I'm going to allow other people to annotate the shared screen. The reason for that is I have one activity that I do that I put up a blank screen and then just ask people to contribute their thoughts. That's what this enables. But if I select this, then people can't do it. And I've tried to use this in the past with other people's Zooms, and I can't because they didn't have this setting set. And again, this is one of these things, right? If you're really worried about locking down so that people don't, do pictures of offensive things, then of course you wouldn't allow them to. But I'm not worried. And if people draw pictures of offensive things, that's fine. I'm not easily offended. I just hope people are polite to each other. Allow saving of whiteboard content. Yeah, so we're going to allow the whiteboard because I'll probably want to use it. We're going to allow it to be saved. And we're going to auto save it as an image, not as a PDF. We'll save it as an image when the sharing is stopped, so that I'll have a record of these anytime I create one. Do I have plans to use the whiteboard? Not at the moment, but you never know, right? Remote control. So allow the person who is sharing can allow others to control the shared content. So that's a bit risky, but I mean, I intend to be right here. And so if I want to allow someone else to work with the shared content, I have that capacity. And it'll also allow them to use the clipboard so they could, for example, paste content from elsewhere into the shared screen. That's okay. There are security risks to doing that, but I'm running this course on my personal computer, not an enterprise computer, in my personal Zoom account, not an enterprise account. So if anything goes wrong, my employer is protected. And that's the way I want it for an open course. Nonverbal feedback. Allow participants to communicate without interrupting by clicking on icons. These icons are found in the reactions menu on the toolbar, and when selected, they display on the participants' video and in the participants list until dismissed. Let's allow that. What could go wrong? It is kind of cool. Similarly, allow meeting participants to communicate without interrupting by reaction with emojis. Sure, why not? All emojis. I don't know what all the emojis are, but I hope the little pile of poop is one of them. Allow removed participants to rejoin. If I kick you out, you're out. Because if I kick you out, you had a reason to be kicked out. You really, really had a reason to be kicked out. Allow participants to rename themselves. Absolutely. Again, this is about being able to access the course without authentication, naming yourself, outing yourself. I think that's important. That's what open means. There's a lot of cases where this course isn't particularly sensitive. Well, it's kind of sensitive, but there's a lot of courses that are sensitive, and people could get in trouble for participating in the course. And so my approach here is that you minimize the participant footprint. You make it that much safer to participate in the course. I should have been recording this audio because this is pretty interesting, just in terms of if I had a transcript or something. And why doesn't YouTube have a transcript? I'll have to look into that. What I do for transcripts is I use my phone, and I use the Google Recorder on the phone, and record what I'm saying as I give the talk, and then use that as my transcript. It's really awkward in some ways, and maybe I should do making a MOOC session on that specifically, because I do use that. All right, hide participant profile pictures in meetings. No, it's up to you what you put in your picture, and it's up to you whether you show it or don't show it. In meeting, report to Zoom. Allow users to report inappropriate behavior. I'll leave this on. I don't think it'll be abused. And it just seems to me a measure that allows for increased safety for participants. Allow the host to create breakout rooms. Yeah. Again, I have no plans. I'm not a big fan of breakout rooms, but if I get enough people, it's partly because I never get enough people. But if I get enough people and I want people to do something interactive, then we'll do that. And then we're going to be able to assign participants. And I checked how this works out in practice. I can just randomly assign people, and I think that's the best way to go. Remote support, I'm not turning it on because I have again, it's a MOOC, right? So I'm not sure. I don't know how to provide one-to-one remote support. We're not using this as a support channel. If this comes up, then I'll turn it on. Close captioning. Allow a host to type closed captions or assign a participant or a third-party service to add closed captions. I'm going to turn that on to at least enable it. Now, allow use of caption API token to integrate with third-party. Okay. Allow live transcription service. And allow viewing of full transcript in the side. Okay, so this will improve the accessibility of the meeting. Now, I don't currently have an API service or live transcription service for the meetings, but let's make it possible, and then I'll explore it, or other people can explore it later. Save captions. So, and similarly, people will be able to save the captions. So let's come back here. You have enabled save closed captions as a VVT file in cloud recording. Okay, so that's VTT rather, is video transcript something. It's also about a lot of other things too. So let's go with video. Let's see if that makes it faster to find. What is a VVT file? Here we go. Video text track. Okay, it's a popular subtitle on caption. So basically what it does, if we look at this image here, if we look at this image here, that's not an image, view image. I actually have to have a plugin to allow that button to exist in Firefox. So basically here it is, right? So the caption aligns with, so these, you know, it aligns with certain time periods in the video, and then there's an alignment where it goes, middle line 90%, etc. And then the actual text. So so I've enabled that. So we'll come back here. Oops, did I just delete the wrong window? Let's reopen, close tab. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Oh, maybe that's the one I shouldn't have. Oh no, here we go. Okay, so I've already enabled that. So to prevent the transcription of audio and saving, go to recording settings to disable these, right? So, well, I don't want to disable those, so ignore that. Allow people to save these? Yes. Why not? Far end camera control. I do not want users to take control of my camera during a meeting. Group HD video. I'm leaving this off. I'm leaving it off because I live in rural Ontario, and although I have decent bandwidth, I don't have great bandwidth, and also participants in the meeting might not have great bandwidth. So I'm leaving it off. That's gonna, it hits the video quality, obviously, but you know, it's a trade-off, right? Lower quality for better access. And right now, you know, we're doing video meetings, right? That's pretty good, you know, compared to where we were even 10 years ago. So maybe one day when everybody gets the bandwidth they need and deserve and have a right to, we'll do this. But right now we can't really. Virtual background, we'll allow it. We won't require it. Manage 5. Oh, I should add some. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll add some. I like some of these. Like, check this one out. It's actually a video. All right. Same with that one. It's actually a video, so we can have video virtual backgrounds. Yeah, I'm going to allow that. Why not? I'm going to allow the video filters. I'm going to allow the immersive view, whatever that is. Oh, allow hosts to create case-specific scenes, such as classroom or boardroom. Sure, whatever. Focus mode. I'm going to allow that as well, in case that I want to really focus everyone on me, or more accurately, if I'm sharing a screen, I'll want to use focus mode to ensure that the screen shows up in the full window, rather than as this, you know, I'm sharing a screen and it's just one box in a 3x3 grid. That would be bad, because then you wouldn't be able to see, right? So I'll allow that focus mode so that when I'm sharing a screen, in or sharing anything, maybe I want people to see my coffee cup, right? So I'll be able to turn that on. Identify guest participants. I don't care, right? I don't care whether you're a guest, whether you're registered, whatever. And again, I don't think that'll be a problem. I'm trying to keep this as open as possible. Auto answer group in chat. So allow users to add others to an auto answer group. Calls from members of a user's auto answer group will be automatically answered for that user. So I'm leaving that off, so that you can decide if you want to answer something or not. If you're getting a call from Zoom, that's you would use that if you're doing a work team or something like that, and you just want instant communications, instant video communications back and forth. You turn this on, and then each individual can have an auto answer. Like, so if I was using this at NRC, one of my auto answers would be for Jean-Francois, who's the group leader, and if he's calling me, I really should answer him. I might not want to, but I should. Only show default email when sending email invites. No, I can. So allow users to participate by email. So only using the default program selected on their computer. That's kind of weird, right? But that's like if Outlook was my default email program, then I would have to send invitations using Outlook. I would not be allowed to use Thunderbird. But openness means using whatever application you want, so I'm doing it this way. Use HTML format email for Outlook plugin. I thought about turning this on, but then I thought, well, I'm not really using the Outlook plugin, so it doesn't matter. And then I thought, well, even in 2021, not everyone uses HTML format email, so I'm leaving it off. And mostly I'm not sending invitations by email, so there's no reason to have it on. Allow users to select stereo audio in their client settings. I'll turn that on. There's a bit of a bandwidth hit, but not a big bandwidth hit, and I don't know, maybe it'll come up. Show a join from your browser link. That's for the people who don't want to download and install the Zoom client. If you don't want to do that, I totally don't blame you. There are reasons why you might not want to download and install a Zoom client. Browsers work perfectly well. I've done tons of Zoom meetings in browsers, so you don't need the application. Show always join from browser option. You don't know. Allow account members to enable always join from browser when they join meetings from join.zoom.us. So that's where that's the link that I send you to have you join a meeting. Allow account members. I don't have account members. Maybe they mean Zoom account members. So since I don't have account members, I don't need this, and so I'll leave it off, but I'll remember that it exists. So here's the big one that I wanted to do that NRC disallowed. Allow live streaming of meetings. Now, I don't use Facebook because no ethics. So I don't think YouTube has particularly better ethics, but they're way better than Facebook's. Okay, I realize that sentence contained a contradiction, but you get what I mean. So I'm going to allow this custom live streaming service. I don't know how that works, so I'm going to leave that off. Maybe there's a way to live stream Zoom meetings to well, what? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how that works. But I do want to live stream meetings on YouTube. And here's why. First of all, not everybody wants to be a participant in the live meeting. They just want to watch. And if they just want to watch, I want to make it nice and easy for them. And they'll be able to do that right here in the Activity Center or on YouTube of their choice, right? So they'll be able to watch live. Also, when I'm live streaming, this will automatically create a YouTube video. And I've tested this. I tested this yesterday when I set this up. And in fact, we can see my test. Let's go to my YouTube page. Might as well show all. I got nothing to hide. So here we go. YouTube, your channel, and videos. So those are the uploads, and then I got a lot of videos now. Videos, there's also live. I think it'll be faster just to go past live streams. So there's the test of my live stream. Now, quality of that image isn't everything I would like it to be. I'll tell you that right now. And I played with the backgrounds. So, see, it's pretty fuzzy, isn't it? So I wasn't too thrilled. Here's the background video. I do like that. So fuzzy, though. So fuzzy. This has nothing. I thought, this might have to do with the OBS that I'm using. And maybe it does, but I didn't have. In fact, I have to turn off OBS when I'm doing this because it won't allow me to use the camera. You can only use the camera with you use it with Zoom, or you use it with OBS, or you use the OBS virtual camera in Zoom. But I had OBS turned off while I did this test, and I still have this. So that's maybe if I was having a high definition meeting in Zoom, I'd get better video quality. Probably would. But again, trade-off, right? So this is our trade-off here. So this is me testing, right? And I'm so exciting when I'm testing, aren't I? All right, so I'm live streaming my meetings. I'll be showing them in the Activity Center so people can watch in the Activity Center, or they can join the Zoom meeting directly. If they join the Zoom meeting directly, then they'll be able to interact with me up to 100 people. And then if by any chance, and I'm sure this won't happen, but if by any chance I have more than 100 people in the Zoom, I'm not stuck with, people can't participate. They can still watch and have a chat in the Activity Center or on the YouTube webpage. And that works pretty well. Show a common disclaimer. No, I have no need for that. Maybe I should say, I can't turn it on anyways. Why not? That's kind of weird. I must... I don't know why I can't use that. Because I was thinking I might do a disclaimer for, please note if these meetings are being recorded, etc. Enabling the disclaimer for meetings. If the setting is disabled, click the toggle to enable it. Well, make sure the disclaimer is enabled, but I can't enable it. It's grayed out. I'm assuming it's just not available in this account that I have. Although this Zoom help does not actually say that. but that's my assumption. Request permission to unmute. I don't see the need for that at this point in time, so I'll leave that off. Enable stop incoming video feature. This allows participants to turn off video feeds to their screen. If you're having bandwidth issues, turning off the video really improves the audio, so we'll allow that. So email notification. So I will get notification when recordings are available. I am saving these Zoom recordings as an alternative / backup to the YouTube recordings, because I believe in alternatives and backups, because I've learned that if you don't have that, there will be times when it fails and you have no recording. So if people join before me, it'll tell me if a meeting is canceled. It'll notify people. That'll be people who've registered for the meeting, but I don't think there are people registering for these meetings, so it won't matter. But I'll be registered. If I set an alternative host or remove an alternative host, it will notify the alternative host. Seems reasonable. Similarly, if someone schedules a meeting for me, I don't see how that could happen, but if it does happen, I'll get a notification. Okay, I'll leave this off. If I put something in the trash, I intend it to stay in the trash. Okay. Others, blur snapshot on iOS app switcher. I'm not using iOS, so I don't care. Invitation email. If I send an invitation, which I'm not planning to, it'll be in English. Schedule privilege. There are no privileges. And then integration of authentication. This will be for the API. There'll be a key and a secret, which I can regenerate at any time. I'm not going to show those because why would I? But now I know where that is. So once I go to set up the API, I'll use this key and this secret to access that. And that's really helpful. That's very handy. That is just right there. So that's the setup. So like I say, the way I'll be using this is each time. So basically I'll edit this page in Grasshopper, putting the join information here. I'll probably put the join information in the newsletter because I have in the newsletter I have an activities section. I'll cover that in another video, and then in the activities section, which shows up in the newsletter on the day or near the day of the activity, I'll have that link, so it'll show up in your newsletter. Just click on the link in your newsletter and you're there. Or if you don't have your newsletter at any given time, you can come to the activity center on the website and it'll be right here. My plan is to have all of my activities take place the same time every day, and that's noon Eastern time, whether it's standard time or daylight time, whatever we're doing at the moment. Just as an aside, I hate jumping forward and moving back from standard to daylight time and vice versa. I think it's stupid and it's confusing, especially for people who aren't in our time zone. If you're sitting in Australia and it's bad enough that the meetings are at midnight, but then the time changes in Canada, nobody's going to tell you in Australia that the time changed in Canada. So it's so annoying. But I'm going to set it for noon Eastern time. There will be a time change somewhere in there, so be ready for it. I'll try to let people know ahead of time. I will let people know ahead of time. assuming that I know ahead of time. I don't pay attention to time changes. Let me just check that. Why don't I just check that out right now? Eastern Daylight, Eastern Time Zone, time change. Okay. So Ontario ends first Sunday in November. So about halfway through the course. First Sunday in November is November 7. So there will be a time change on November 7. So be aware of that. And now I'm aware of that. Although again, I don't usually pay attention to these things. So that's it for the Zoom setup. I hope you found that interesting. Interesting enough to watch for almost an hour. I'm going to have lunch now, and then in the afternoon, oh, yeah, and, well, I guess I won't have an actual event at noon today, the first day of the course, because nobody would be in it. But I'll be... Maybe I should make them at 12:30 so I can have lunch first. No, I'll just have lunch at 11:30. No, I'll leave them at 12. It's easy. And I'll just make sure I have lunch before I do my activity. Yeah, I'll have to do it that way. Or maybe I can have my activities at 1. No, I want people, at least in the Eastern time zone, to be able to just participate over lunch. And then in the Pacific time zone, they can participate at 9 in the morning first thing. Also, noon is 5 p.m. in Britain, 6 p.m. in Europe, which is pretty convenient for them. I think it's 9 p.m. or thereabouts in the Middle East. So that's convenient, reasonably convenient. You know, you do it, you know, make it a late evening thing if you're going to watch the live event. But, you know, of course, in other time zones, you'll probably be depending on the recording more than anything. I apologize to my friends in China and even India and Australia. I'm only one man. So we'll have to do it that way. So, yeah, I'll work my eating lunch around that schedule. All right, so that's it for this session. Hope you found it interesting, like I say, and the next one, or one of the future ones, will be how I set up all these activities and make sure that you're getting notifications in the newsletter of them. All right, bye then.